beware. I hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho ho, on an adventure we go. In the deep digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very steep hill through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go to beyond the outer limits of society, broadcasting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show. It's the WP Army and you know. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Dark our vessels in the Skullport Harbor. No land lovers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL after a drinking field hall. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go.
Welcome everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to our weekly edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show segment number 316. I'm your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. WPRPN.com is the website you'll want to drop by, take a look at. Sign up is free. All you simply need is a username, password, and email. Everything should be pretty much straightforward. If you do happen to run into any problems along the way, do not hesitate in getting back to us via our main email, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. It's pirate, the numeral 1radio@protonmail.com. We'll take whatever steps are necessary, helping to smooth things over and get you sailing off in just a sort of direction you hope to be. It's also a really important email address to write down and take note of if you have any show suggestions or guest ideas that you'd like to bounce off of us. On top of that, it also serves as our PayPal contact, way of helping out the donation front. Always appreciated. Without the public support, we're not able to produce as much content as we'd like. That's the bottom line. We do, of course, have online stores and then merchandise, pirate swag available through a couple of different outlets, not least of which, of course, is galacticfire.com. Definitely drop by and check out that link, courtesy of the show description. End of things. Remember as well to check out our Patreon. Keep in mind that you can, if you support what we do, help us out on the digital front as well. And be sure, as always, to leave comments. Hit the like button, notifications, subscription end of things. And password on to friends, family, and coworkers. That's the only way, frankly, that we're going to be able to grow and really become, over time here, more of a force to be reckoned with. So, got a couple of great friends here, old pirate hands, as it were, members of the crew. Not sure if either of them know each other, actually. I don't believe they've had the opportunity in sharing the same stage to this point as far as our live streams are concerned. But out of Phoenix, Arizona, Sonya Galactic. While it's been a while, the Buckeye State, Ohio, USA, Kaiser Schuff. So Chris Do Better, our friend and fellow crew member who finds himself out on the road, working to raise consciousness and accomplish as much as he can on a whole host of various fronts, personal improvement as well as awareness regarding the whole breast cancer issue and a number of other areas as well. He had been here. In fact, I think we'll just drop by and check Skype. He'll be popping back in a few minutes from the sounds of things. Naroki 5 out of Alberta, Canada, unable to join us here because of his new employment situation. He's got a new job that he's working currently. So be sure to check out his show. However, the Red Pill Nation Hangout. Sounds like he'll be recording something tomorrow around, I think it's 4 or 4:30 Alberta time. So I believe he's got to the point now where he actually does live stream as well too. So you can, if you are so inclined, drop by his Rumble site, actually, his Rumble channel, and catch him in real live time. Definitely, well worth your while, especially if, as hopefully we're going to get around to doing here in just a few moments, working on getting a better lay of the land and assessing everything that took place via Canada and the electoral landscape in the last day or two, how it's all transpired. So, but unfortunately, or who knows, maybe it's a good thing in some ways. The only two people we have on board with us here via the roundtable are our American cousins south of the border. So, what are your thoughts, Kaiser and Sonya? Being based out of the states, as it were. Yeah, maybe not too much. Kaiser, welcome back. It's been a while.
It definitely has, brother.
Yeah. What brings you?
And
What inspires you? What brings you here? This look at that bar. Look at that bar. That graph, by the way. That huge the jump that that's CARNEY and his the big red machine managed to, supposedly, as far as if you believe in polls, accomplished in just the last few months. It's a little peculiar. Sorry for cutting off, Kaiser. Go ahead. How have things been going, and why the decision to click on the computer mouse this week?
Well, I decided to click on it because of the assassination of the Pope, and I'm not a Catholic.
Wow.
So don't think that. But I understand why it happened.
Really?
And yeah.
Huh.
And there is a problem we have globally, and Canada is experiencing it now. What you're seeing is that big spike, that big red boom. Isn't that sweet? We saw that before. Wait, that might have been 2020. Yeah, it was. So, you know, everybody uses these machines. It needs to go back to paper ballots. And that's a fact. And you know my backstory, and I'm not going to get into it. But yes, I'm very saddened because I do have people on the West Coast that I truly love. One of them's a British Royal Marine Commando who actually is Canadian, because you guys can enlist in the Canadian or UK services. And yeah, for him, I feel the pain because of the deliberalization of certain rights that Canadians had, which I think are being trampled right now. And that's all I'll say on that till we talk deeper in. I understand what you want to know.
No, that's great. I'd love to hear more from you on that whole front and regarding these matters. I didn't know that Canadians had the ability to, if they wanted, enlist in the British military as well.
Yeah, you're still a part of the crown. That's why Queen Elizabeth's on your bills, bro.
Well, yeah, I get that, the Commonwealth, but I didn't realize that applied to, our
Anybody in
military
the
officers.
Commonwealth, anybody in the Commonwealth can join the English military. That's a
So
fact.
if that was the case, could you go live in the UK then? I guess that would be a lot more easily done, or would it depend on, you just have to, you would be deployed and dispatched wherever the powers that be felt you'd serve most
Well,
effectively.
you'll be you'll be deployed and dispatched where you are needed, including, anywhere in the Commonwealth and outside of it in the war zones. Trust me, me and him worked together in a war zone, and many others too, like him. And but he happened to be a brother of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Still
still is.
is he not? He's still alive. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, he's not dead yet.
that's good.
They haven't got. Anyways, yeah, they can do what they want. You know, I'm banished from the crown, which is okay. I'm an American, so it doesn't mean shit all to me. But yeah, I'd rather hear from the other person because I've never met her, and I really want to hear from Galactica.
Hey,
You're hearing a lot from our cat, our special needs cat, Danny here. I tried to
yes, and he's stealing the show.
adjust the audio, and wasn't that,
He's stealing the show.
he is, yeah, he's constantly upstaging us, isn't he? So, but
Yes.
yeah, go ahead, Sonia. This is Kaiser. He's quite a character. He's been around for a number of years now, a great friend of ours, and it's cool that the two of you have this opportunity. So let's
Guys,
fill them in, and
bro?
all of our new listeners as well too, as to who Sonia Galactic, what who you are and what makes you tick.
Oh, wow. You got really, that's kind of a lot for this small time of a show here, but yeah, so art, t-shirts, tattoos, things like that, makes me kind of tick, I guess. I haven't been ticking too fast here lately though.
Turns your crank. Turns your crank. You've come on recently as our co-producer. You've been working in that capacity, just to a certain extent, at least, and as
Teeny
and
bit, yeah.
merchandising director too is kind of one of the titles that we've offered you there.
A little bit. There's a lot,
You've
for
earned
one
it.
person to do so much stuff. So,
Yeah.
like that.
In
Look,
fact,
I got Squeaky trying to steal the show over here now too.
Oh, geez, maybe Squeaky was hearing Danny bleed on through. So yeah,
He might have, huh?
but no, Sonia's based out of. Why don't you get? Are you able to get on camera? Actually, Kaiser, you've seen me on camera too, haven't you? Probably, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to do the camera thing right now. It's one of those days, So
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so what's been going on out here? It's been kind of getting hot, Arizona, and that's pretty much, I mean, nothing's really been happening that, CBD's rocking, mashed potatoes are cool, stuff like that.
Mashed potatoes. What are those?
Yeah, they're mashed potatoes, just
No.
regular mashed potatoes.
Laced with,
They're tasty.
with CBD
No.
ingredients, or?
No, they're separate.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm just highlight of my week kind of thing,
You're cooking up a storm in the kitchen.
Yeah.
These days, are you?
Yeah,
So, okay.
while taking CBD. So that's a good
Oh,
picture right there.
really?
Well,
Oh, good.
well,
Yeah.
we're having something in common. When Jaffe earlier said I was stumbling, it wasn't because I was going to get a beer. I was actually having to flip a prime rib, and that's what was going on. And there's nothing better than prime rib, some kraut, and some mashed potato.
We got
gotta have the mashed potato. Hey, Vinny.
got Herb
Hey guys.
Herb Anthony on board here as well in the live stream. Is that Vinny from?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Vinny Eastwood. Well, you've decided to click on your computer mouse this week as well. So
Oh, I'm afraid it was not my computer mouse. It is my phone Skype, and I believe this might be the last day that we can ever make Skype calls again.
That's
so
right.
I figured I may as well join in while the going's good.
Well, have you been following? We like to cover the Canadian election and the way that it played out, the way it was staged, essentially, and ultimately executed. So
I believe that's called electile dysfunction.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. That's right. Yeah.
Good one.
Canada's suffering from some major electile dysfunction. So
I came up with a good one the other day. I was taking my daughter to her first day of school, and the teacher was talking about one of these toy cars that was sort of like a bit misshapen, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't think that's right." And I go, "Well, you never know what kind of make or model it was. Maybe it is a Bentley."
Okay, sure, yeah.
Because it was a Bentley. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, you're a pretty punny guy, Vinny. I think most of anyone that's listened to.
Well, I did spend time in a penitentiary. It was part of my punishment.
Vinny from Brooklyn, Zane Ivy as well. We're picking up here in via the Peanut Gallery. This is what we're seeing. So good stuff, gentlemen. Let's see what they got comment-wise here. PC would not allow me to access Teams, so we'll be updating from here. Yeah, there's some issues. Teams is going to have some growing pains. I think people.
Do we have to pay for Teams?
It depends on what you want, I think. Not just a basic.
If you want to go more than an hour, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So we're going Jitsi. We're going to be going Jitsi, though, is what it looks like as far as our VoIP of choice, and that is free and it's open source. Correct, Sonia?
Yep, that's right.
And you can go for as long as you want on Jitsi, I think. Now, what about how many people can you have join you in your room?
I think it's unlimited, actually.
Yeah.
Son, where are you actually at in Arizona? Because I was there in 2015 when Angela Merkel disappeared and went down to a dude ranch down in Kingman. So I just am curious because I travel to Arizona.
Just imagine.
Oh yeah.
Phoenix.
Remember when she had to come? Do you remember when she had to come kiss the ring for Obama?
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Yep, that was in 2015 after the election, after she had yanked German flags out of little girls' hands and threw them on the floor. You can look And I bought her in 2004. You remember this, Jaffe? We talked about it. And I bodyguarded her at the G8 Summit in 2004 on Sea Island. So anyways, I did her pre and post and during her time there. And Phoenix, I've been there. There's an Air Force base there, which you know about, Davis Monthan.
I don't.
And,
you did her pre and post.
No.
Did you help dude her up? That's the question that remains to be answered. Did you help dude her up?
I just rode a horse like I did in the beginning of the War and Terror.
It almost sounds like she was seeking out perhaps a male version of what they've got in Nevada as far as bunny ranches are concerned. You know?
No. Dude Ranch is nothing more than, and I guarantee that Galactica knows, Sonya knows, that they're out there everywhere.
Right.
And this one happened to have 3 helicopter landing pads. And that's all Sam.
Wow.
Well, she was just looking to get.
That sounds like a ranch where you could get like quite a lot of dudes, man.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure, but maybe she was looking just a little R&R, you know, a relaxation and a chance to experience the genuine, authentic Western.
She was off. Go look at that time and you'll see it. Miss Telly, they called her Miss Telly because Damentali. And the reason why they did that is because she was always on her phone.
Oh, yeah.
She did not have her phone at that time.
Yeah.
And that was for reasons. Like I said, she had to kiss the ring. People don't understand how Germany and everybody else has been controlled until now. Everybody's being cut loose because you guys have to run your own shit because we can barely run ours, and that's a fact.
Oh,
Jack.
Okay, so cut loose and run their own affairs because, well, you're saying there's like a shakeup in the New World Order, basically, realignment, reorientation.
Exactly. Right? That's why you saw the Pope get. He's no longer around, right?
So why do you think he was? Why do you think he was done away with? He was 88. He was sick. He was frail. It comes as no surprise to hardly, too many people. Obviously, he's lucky he lived to be that age.
Here's the funniest part. Yeah, he was old and frail, but untimely is untimely.
Well, what do you think happened and why?
There's a lot of things. Go back to the Church Commission. Okay. Look it up.
Who's going to be the new? Who's going to serve then? And will there be a new pope? Hasn't it been prophesized that he would be in fact the last?
He's the last. He's the last.
Right.
So we shall see. Because Leonardo da Vinci only made enough spaces for that amount of popes. That's what caused that prophecy.
Where was this? In one of his paintings?
Yeah, no. It's not in his paintings. It's on. If you go into the Vatican and you go into the Bastilla and you look on the ceiling, every pope's painted there. And there was one last, and that was with the usurper for the Catholics. I'm not Catholic. So I'm sorry. I don't really give it. My game's not in this. My game is all about America, but you already know this. And so does anybody else who's heard me before. You know, I ride horses, shoot guns, and do things that are, wild stuff.
The Catholicism and the Vatican, not your barrel of monkeys, not your circus.
It is on a part of my family, but there are I'm an Ohioan girl, so just understand I'm half hillbilly, half Dago, and half Kraut. And I'm all good with all parts of those. And I can talk educatedly, or I can get down into the woods and the weeds with you.
Right.
Yeah. So So half of you go that way, half of you go that way, and the rest of you come with me.
Whatever it takes to get the job done, I guess, right? So, yeah.
And Vinny nailed it. And Vinny nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with
Vinny. Speaking of Vinny, have you been your show? I haven't seen too many links or to your show as of late. Too much information or nothing.
Oh, I have been busy. I'm pivoting as it were.
Right.
Instead of doing the show this last couple of weeks, I have been daddying. I took my daughter to her first day of school, as I mentioned before, which kind of like put up the problems with the this week's shows rather. And the week before that, I was filming in a cyclone at a music festival for all these people. Yeah. It was. It was moist. I'm not going to deny it.
Like a real bona fide cyclone that just kind of emerged from out of
not. Nothing. I wouldn't say it was bona fide. Like more like semi-fide. Like we were just getting the tail ends of it.
Well,
where everything was just basically blowing and getting wet. You know how it is when it's not a bona fide kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Speaking of, bona fide, genuine or not, this business, we're endlessly gaslit on so many issues. This man-made climate change thing is top of the list. The whole the scamdemic, obviously, election 2020. The forensic work needs to be done on this. What took place here in Canada recently too, and we've yet to get around to doing that. There's questions that definitely do need to be asked. But just with the so-called man-made climate
speaking
change.
Of which, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but apropos that, I just saw a post by the New Zealand Herald, mainstream media here in New Zealand, saying that Britain is going to put £50 million into a geoengineering program to help to combat climate change. This is mainstream news.
Global dimming. Yeah, they wanted. That's the Bill Gates. It's part of his agenda. They want to dim. They don't want you to too much. Vitamin D needs to be reduced, right? They don't want people to be able to sanitize themselves naturally using the sun.
I would say that they want us to all become dimwits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, then we are what we already are, clearly. That was on the list of talking points that we had this week. Yeah.
Vinny just explained that to me perfectly.
Damn.
Thank you.
You're watch. There's some. I think there's some dust in your line there, possibly, Kaiser. It's suddenly from out of the blue starting to act up as it was last time you connected. Try that one more time.
I said hell.
Listen.
It sounds like Vinny just.
Yeah.
Vinny just nailed what is the truth. That there is dust in the line.
Yeah.
And it's funny how this happens. Just like I got banned from Facebook for 3 years.
Really?
And now all of a sudden I get an invite and I'm back on it, 3 months ago? Kind of funny how this works, isn't it?
Oh, it's all bullshit. We got Pirate Radio Podcast, 10 years shut down. We're off. They kicked us off of Facebook for just because. 10 years for looking too good, I guess, and too many freedom-fueled truth bombs is how we like to put it. So that'll get you in hot water in no time whatsoever. So anyone that's really out here speaking the truth. See, this is our job though throughout the digital underground fifth estate, and it all kind of bubbles up to the surface where people like Alex and others, Tim Pool, and just you name it, clear across the board, the larger social media operatives, as it were, and gatekeepers, because trust me, they do hold back in so many ways, and the way they handle and spin things is quite there's lack of criticism of Israel top of the list. But I didn't finish that man-made
can I
climate
make a
change
point
thing
here?
nonsense. I didn't finish it. Let me finish, Vinny. Going back to the man-made climate change. So 2 points. We do have an impact whether we realize it or not, and yeah, they don't. The powers that be need to shut that shit down. You know, clear they need to shut it down or do something. And secondly, this man-made climate change. Yeah, the man-made climate change has been taking place for over 100 years now. It's they've been making it rain. Or was it Hatfield? Why is this always his first name escapes me? But is out of San Diego, and a few of you might have heard about this.
Kidding.
Hatfield was it Robert or anyways, he made it rain. He made it rain so well and they've been experiencing drought for some time. That's why they hired him. He shot these mixture of chemicals off into the air. And this is over 100 years ago, folks. Look it up. Hatfield, Rainmaker. They made a movie out of it with Burt Lancaster. He made it rain so well that there's suddenly occurred this massive downpour, and a number of people got killed actually, and he had to make a run for it. Hopefully he got his money first. Clearly that's rule number one in these sort of affairs, right Shuff? Get your money first.
It said that you can add but you can't take away. So look guys, if you're ever trying to modify the weather, do the smallest possible modification as you possibly fucking can, you know, because otherwise you're going to be in trouble.
Well, okay. Why do you, unlike the big lie, which they say, you know, don't just lie in a, you know, go big or go home kind of deal when it comes to lying. I think, who was that? Yeah. Goebbels or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was only for tattoo.
You hear that? Bloody poor Kaiser there with his static suddenly kicking in. Just maybe your line, if you could pull out your input jack there and blow it out. That sometimes works.
Ironically, talking about German propaganda, you're coming across a bit Goebbels.
Oh, geez, here we go again. You just can't. This guy's he's incurable. You and William Shatner. You and William Shatner. You know, Shatner is just. Yeah.
I will make him shat his pants, like bro.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure you would. That's right. But this man, and here, is everyone up to speed on? And this does tie into the whole CARNEY agenda, the Carnival show that Canada is now, I guess, going to be having to deal with, you know, and face over the course of the next number of years, unless there's some vote of non-confidence in Parliament, and I could easily see happening is another election, and the Liberals come in with even a more, you know, decisive win than how things currently.
It's go large or go home.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Canadians are now experiencing.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats did that for years, bulwarking America. Through USAID,
ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, your Borg announcer for the Canadian election program.
Which, you know, I worked for USAID, Democracy International, State Department. I've worked for a lot of these agencies, and you know this, Jackie. So, let me tell you, the one thing we're trying to do is unfuck everything that's been fucked up since I started it during the global war on terror. And that's
Kaiser, just for my own personal gratification.
Hold on, Vinny. I'll let you jump in. If I can help unfuck this, I will. And Jaffe knows this.
Unfuck the world.
Go on and say what
Yeah.
Okay, so Kaiser, just for my own gratification, can you say resistance is futile? You will be assimilated?
He's being facetious, yeah.
Resistance is never futile with a shove. And you don't know me, and it's okay, Vinny. I like you. I've heard a lot of your shows, and you're a good man. So please, we're not picking a fight. I'm telling you, I want to see this shit undone because it's evil.
Yeah. Sword point, shove. Thank you, James. Hey, and here's the thing, but James, and I can sense his frustration. Here's the thing, as many of us are, but you know what helps to maintain my sanity is, now I'm not sure where this comes from. Some people say it's Alcoholics Anonymous, or what have you, but God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's profound, powerful for me personally, and I'm sure a lot of others. I just find it very, within the context of, so when you look out into the world, just all the insanity that that really seems to rule the day, the chaos.
Speaking of insanity, the 13-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous, as it was originally conceptualized, the 13th step has now been termed the 12-step program.
Yeah. Because
the 13th step was niacin infusions, which stop the connections in your brain to being addicted to the alcohol.
Sounds like
so what they did is they took that puppy out, and then they held most of the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings next to a bottle shop.
Your truth. You're telling truth. Look, I'm not drinking.
You're breaking up badly, Shuff. I think what it is maybe is your audio connection, the way you have things configured. Sometimes I've done that where my audio, and you got to go into your audio settings.
Do I sound better?
Go ahead.
Do I sound better?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Now, Vinny,
Yikes.
I agree with you. I'm saying I helped fuck this up. I'm trying to unfuck it. That's what I'm saying, and it's not being egoistic.
Yeah.
Take my ego into it. I'm saying I know where the bodies are buried in certain places, and other people do too. And we're all trying to unshovel this because it was done by us in the United States. Not you guys, not you in Australia, not you in fucking Canada, Jaffe, which I know you're not in Canada now. But I'm saying it buried itself. The fangs went into Europa, and it went into Canada, and it went into Australia. And I understand how with 5 eyes.
Well, look, it's the Kalergi plan. And here's a great point in case. We never hear any of these so-called alternative media. They never talk about the Kalergi plan. They rarely talk about how there's been a international world weather warfare treaty that was signed at the UN in 1977. The implications of that, and how far they've come since then. We want to talk about man-made climate change. They think they can really hoodwink us. Well, they can keep repeating the same bullshit talking points and lies, but that doesn't mean, it's like you're only going to be able to fool so many people, as Abraham Lincoln.
So for those who are unfamiliar with the whole climate change scam, it basically works like this. The Club of Rome identified environmental issues as the new weapon that they were going to use to unite humanity against itself.
Yeah.
And ever since then, mankind is the problem.
That would fit. It would fit the bill. That's how they managed to nail it down. It's boil it down. It's like, yes, that will fit the bill. Club of Rome, Rockefeller. Rockefeller elitist think tank. Absolutely, Vinny. You're right on the mark there. And that's where COVID, that's where the whole scamdemic originated from too. How they plotted, they came up with that one as well.
Well, if you were looking at the Earth as in terms of a weather systems compared with, say, a vehicle. In the vehicle, you would say that the driving force behind that vehicle would be the engine, or in the Earth's case, the sun. Looking at carbon dioxide as the main driver of climate change is like saying that one of the nuts on the back rear left tire is in point of fact the driver of the car, and that is simply not the case.
Reconfigure your audio, Kaiser. Go meet yourself out, Kaiser. Go into your settings and reconfigure your audio settings. Try that.
It's nothing more than what you guys said, and I agree with you. It's when you guys speak that happens. I'm sorry. What I'm telling you is it's nothing more than like masturbation makes babies. I'm sorry it doesn't. The problem we're going to see in the West, period, and I mean this, is repopulation.
Yep.
And that's why they keep bringing in illegals to every fucking country that is Western.
Illegal Europeans.
And they don't understand. Yes. And they don't understand that is going to change Western civility. And
they know
back.
exactly what they're doing, Kaiser. I would argue they know exactly. Order out of chaos, man. They know exactly what they're doing. They could care less. I think it's all about maintaining its consolidation of power and sustaining that power, obviously.
Exactly, Jaffe. I'm not arguing with you guys about this.
Yeah. Yeah, the Kalergi plan is something everyone needs to keep an eye on. That, but the point earlier, when's the last time? Look at all the alternative, like Tim Pool or Dave Rubin, or I mean Alex. Maybe he's talked about it. Yeah, Alex has talked about it a time or two, I guess. And Joe Rogan,
Alex,
never, like hardly ever.
Tim, Alex, and Joe do talk about it, but they bounce around about it. But that's okay. At least it's getting out to normal.
Exactly.
I mean,
right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna bust their balls over that.
Better than nothing. No. But they could do more. All right. There's no doubt about it. They should hammer away at it more. You know, Charles Lieber and his role within the whole scamdemic as well. Like people need. It really was. I was disappointed by more outlets.
Wait. You and I were on Facebook together, and you know this to be a fact. And what did I do? I mocked. Dude, I'm seeing it in my histories, and I keep reposting it.
Mm-hmm.
The same shit. The mask. I still see morons wearing them. And I'm like, I know who you are, except old people, I give them a pass, or somebody handicapped. Because maybe they have cancer or something, right? But I see active adults, and I still see people putting masks over their children's faces in fucking Ohio. And that's retarded.
Learned helplessness. It's, yeah, sure. It's like fear, just live in fear. Yeah.
Aren't not breeding. We're not breeding. And we're going to not breed ourselves into extinction.
Oh yeah, jeez.
I see it.
Yeah, well, look at the numbers right now. The world population, it's tanking, and that's one reason that the justification that the power elite, the plutocrats essentially use to justify it's a great leveling, really, where you're bringing the first world down to the third level of the third world and vice versa. The takeoff theory, if you look up Rostow's takeoff theory, and apparently he was a total full-blown communist. Walt Rostow was his name. You know Rostow? You study him?
Yeah.
Okay. Kaiser, you have to reconfigure your audio, my friend. I'm sorry to keep.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Go into your settings. You see where I am? Look, you got the screen share. Can you see? You see how we have this up on Skype here? Yes. Okay. Watch. You go into here, and sorry, folks, for this little sort of slight distraction, but look at it as an educational learning moment for hopefully everyone. And
I can't see any of it because it's micro.
Well, that's the problem too. You go into your settings, find your settings, and go into audio, and then reconfigure so that you choose.
Yeah, that's so easy for you because I got a whole new computer that I'm still trying to figure out.
Well, no, it's off of Skype though. Just via Skype, you find your Skype settings.
I'm on Skype, and there's no settings. It's not like it used to be. And I'm a boomer, even though I'm a Gen Xer. I do not know what you're talking about to go into because it doesn't exist in my world right now as I look.
And you're saying that you cannot see the screen share. You see nothing.
I see nothing.
Oh, so okay. What are you looking at on your screen? The black darkness.
Shit.
Like a big
black dark. Yeah.
So how do you manage to? Okay, are you able to clean out or blow out your like? Do you have an input where your jack is? What device are you using? A computer?
Oh, maybe he's gonna try and.
Well, or he just got pissed off and decided to check out. So, but anyways, was everyone hearing how terrible that audio was?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Okay,
maybe it'll work.
This might work. Go ahead, Kaiser.
All right.
Yada.
I know somebody said I'm full of double bullshit, but I'm not.
No.
So I don't really give a fuck. I'm just telling you.
How many F-bombs is it? It's the policy too, 10 to bloom.
I know.
So
we're all good.
Oh yeah, well, just where it's like an email of PayPal or Patreon, fire away. Yeah. Okay. So do you know what we say? It's kind of girly, but it keeps it cleaner, more family friendly. Everything's all figged up. Fear, ignorance, and greed. It's an acronym we came from. It's all figged up.
And it's true.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to say what I say.
Sound good now.
And I'll be stupid when I want to be stupid, but I wasn't being stupid when I was telling you folks. We have a major issue.
Oh, sure.
And it's not just in the U.S. It's not just in Canada. It's not just in Europa.
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem.
Worldwide.
We decided that somehow America said, we're going to lead this shit. And we both know it came from the International Bank of Settlements.
Mm.
And we can go through all of it.
They helped to fund and finance the Nazi war machine, from what I understand. They were major backers of Hitler and his
we loved them. Come on now. Mm-hmm. They're good people, right?
They were all the bankers were meeting together and partying up throughout the whole war from both sides.
And that includes the Kennedys. That includes a lot of people.
Warburgs.
Yep. We're not getting into all the names. I'm saying it includes a lot of people. And I don't really care. When I was young, the only way before Alex Jones that this message was being sent out was called the Spotlight. It was a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a newspaper that circulated from Canada to America and vice versa. And that's where Ayn Rand got famous from. That's where a lot of people got famous from. And it was a newspaper. And why don't we print anything anymore? Now we all depend on what? The interweb.
Digital feudalism.
There you go. And that's the problem. We have to go low tech at some point,
of course,
or we're not even exist.
But Chef, look at me at my location here in South Korea. I mean, this is the best way of going about communicating, not only connecting with the likes of yourselves, you here on the panel and the wider listening audience, and the way, because we offer the archived content as well, so the people who don't catch us in real life time can check things out after the fact. But this is, I mean, would you like me to pen a letter to everyone individually and then have it sent out through the post office? Would that be the best way? Maybe of low tech?
It was printed.
Yes, Jeff, that's the best way.
No, I didn't say that.
18th century.
Say that. We have to have a backup.
Sure.
Because I don't believe. Here's what I don't believe. I don't believe we're going to have this space for very long.
Good point. Yeah, that's right.
And you guys can all call bullshit on me.
Nope.
And
Nope.
trust me, it's okay. I'm full of bullshit. Believe me. You think I'm full of bullshit? You think I don't know I'm more full of bullshit than you know.
Who said
But
that?
I know the truth.
Who said that?
And, well, yeah, I saw it when I popped in. Anyways, when I got kicked off trying to fix my show, trying to find settings, and it didn't work. Anyways, point being is,
see nothing here
you
but bullshit.
people, I believe, are not the problem. You're the solution. But you also have to have a different way of communicating too. So do I. Trust me, I'm as fallible as you. There's no, it was funny when I was walking out, I had to trip over my dog, my little girl. She's so sweet, little pit bull, just a baby.
Yeah.
And I love her. And you said, well, you're stumbling in. Did you get a beer? Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was going out there to turn my, prime rib over.
Right.
I don't have to really care, but I do, because look, the West is more important than me. It's more important than anybody, because that is civility. I lived over, and I'm going on, and Jaffe, you know this, going on 57. And I will tell you right now, I spent about a third of my life in the Near East and the Far East. So I kind of, and a fake calamity, I speak Arabic. So this is retarded when I have to talk about this shit.
Yeah, what kind of, so we're looking for solutions then, I guess. There's a problem. What's the solution as you see it? Or there must be a number of solutions you have in mind besides low tech.
The only solution is to stop the pollution. That's the solution.
And that's all carbon based, is it? So we have to stop breathing?
No. The pollution of culture.
Yeah.
You can't have Christianity. It's always an instant clash. Christianity clashes with Islam. Always. It always will.
Yeah.
Judaism. Always will clash with both of them too.
Albert Pike's three world wars. You're familiar with?
That's what I meant. Yes.
Well, let's cut to the chase then. And that's something else that we don't hear enough of. Alex, Tim Pool, Crowder. The whole list. Candace Owens doesn't hold much back, does she? She doesn't hold much back at all. So kudos to her. She takes a lot of heat for it.
Everybody else on that one, because I agree with you, but if they want to call bullshit or say whatever, it's okay. I'm just saying it's not the white race, because you know how many Muslims I met that are more white than my Dago fucking ass, half Dago ass. It makes me laugh.
By the way, speaking of whites, this leads me to I think of the who's white? I'm white, you're white, they're white. Like what's white? And the whole JQ is what it so often in my mind goes back to, because of in the media and entertainment and so forth. Like, you have Jewish performers and celebrities and whatnot, or public personalities. So seizing upon the whiteness of their identity. Or not. It depends on the situation, it seems, whenever it's convenient.
Well, there's also the Asian element, and you have to ask yourself, who's white and who's wrong.
And who cares? Some people, like Shuff cares, clearly, and I think it's important to talk about. Do I take pride? And do I take pride in my race or DNA? Actually, you know what? No. It's not to me. No. Nationality, born Canadian? No. Am I ashamed? No. Am I happy to be Canadian? Yes. Happy to be born the person I was? Yes. I'm very grateful,
Wow.
because it could be a lot worse. But pride, although but it is interesting to note. I was just thinking about this yesterday. In fact, we've all heard this, what is it, like Asian pride? Oh, that's good. Yeah. Black pride, or black power. Sure. What is it? African, black, Asian, Jewish pride. And then you have white pride, white power. It's like,
Okay.
or native pride, native power. Sure. White pride, white.
Okay.
Oh, can't do that.
Somehow this
Brown
went
pride.
off the road.
Well,
Somehow it went off the rails.
how so?
I was saying, as a Dago,
Yeah.
I am darker than most Muslims I ever ran into.
You're Italian.
In Afghanistan.
That's your.
Dubai.
Yeah.
Yes. I say Dago, and I'm allowed to because I'm half fucking Dago.
I don't. Dago is like some kind of slang, and yeah. So
slang in America, not in Canada. So let's please not, and it's not that way in Italy either. So it means, I'll tell you a big joke back in the day, because my father, I know who his name is, and it's not the same last name as mine, because I'm a bastard. And you know this, Jaffe, so let's not play games. Anyways, the point is, I own what I am. And I dated a black girl all through high school, still love her to this day, and she is a fine person, even though I'm married to another person, and so is she. And we both like each other.
Uh-huh.
Retarded to talk about skin tone. And that's the point that they keep separating us on.
Sure. Yeah. Identity politics. That's right.
Absolutely retarded.
Well,
when I say that, and retarded doesn't mean mentally disabled. Retarded means retarded in thought. We haven't graduated our minds to understand that certain people are idiots. And I may be one of those people. You might all think I am. And that's okay with me. But I have seen what I've seen. I've done what I've done. And I please hope you never have to have seen any or do anything that I've done. And that's why I have to say on that.
Right. We each choose our path in life, and we have to live with it, I guess, don't we? So our karma, as it were. And it's great that you're trying to kind of make good, or at least see that maybe the course or path that you chose was not necessarily the best way of going about doing things. And now if you can work to help rectify or alter things in a way that's more helpful to I guess humanity as a whole, then that's a good thing. But finish your thought, though, Kaiser. I'm curious about this, because it's really interesting historically. Why is it with the Middle Easterners, then, with the lighter skin tone and the more Caucasoid, as it were, influence, why, as compared to yourself as someone with the Italian ancestry, how is it that these people in the Middle East end up being more Caucasian than yourself? What are your thoughts?
Well, they'll always say, and they do, not the Crusades, they'll say it was from the Greeks.
Right? Alexander. That's right.
Yeah. And also there's a lot of redheaded, blue-eyed, green-eyed people.
Northern India.
Yeah. And there's such, it's blonde-haired too. It's amazing to me. If you remember in Afghanistan, the face on Time magazine of the blue-eyed young girl.
Right.
And captivating eyes. And they found her again when I was in Afghanistan. You know when that was, at the beginning. And Newsweek took a picture of her as an older woman. with children, except fully burqa'd. So, look, man, it's a split of cultures, and to blend them, you have to understand, I blame satellite TV. Honestly, I do. Because anytime you hit a house, they always had a satellite antenna. This is back, you got to remember the Gulf War is when I first started this shit. And first Gulf War, by the way. And everybody had a satellite antenna. And they always loved watching Baywatch.
Ah.
And they saw girls in bikinis saying they're loose.
Oh, yeah.
And you expect them to act better now?
No.
Because that's their religion, right?
Yeah.
So you can't integrate certain things easily into it. Now, there's Muslims I see every day at the local grocery or wherever, and I speak Arabic with them, and it's hilarious to me because they're amazed that a hillbilly that wears a hat, and you know how I look. Of course, I'm not going to put a picture up. An old hillbilly can speak their language. You know, it amazes me, and that's all I'll say, because I think I've said enough. I'm just trying to say I understand it both ways. I think it's sad. It breaks my heart both ways because it's not fair to them, and it definitely isn't fair to us when it's our country. And that's all I have to say.
Who else are we looking at here in the peanut gallery? Star Wars agent recently dropping in. That's pretty. It's great to have you, Star Wars agent, saying they ordered a DVD copy of Ice Pirates. How do they get their money back? And a Gully Rat. It's been a while. But we've got Gully Rat on board as well too. They seem to be echoing your recognition of the famous National Geographic magazine, Afghan Blue-Eyed Girl. That's right. Yeah, she made world news. And so, do they themselves acknowledge the fact that a lot of what the remnants of what exists in Afghanistan, quite widely, it would seem too, that it can be traced back to the influence of Alexander and his Macedonians?
No, I said that's their excuse because the Russians were raping women like you wouldn't believe.
Really? Oh.
Okay. Yeah, and same with the Ukrainians. You got to remember, during 2005, when I went back to Iraq, and I told you this, Ukrainians, I was in that area, Ukrainians and Russians, we were all working in Wasset province, and that was Alkut in Wasset province, and they called it Camp Delta. It was the only airport that could land the Russian the heavy lift.
Not Bagram, different. Yeah.
No, Bagram couldn't handle them.
And that was where all the Buddhist, the Bagram was really important as far as Buddhist history was concerned, archaeology.
Yeah, and they blew every Buddhist statue out of the wall. Oh. So I've been to these places, man. This is not scary.
Right.
Yeah. Bamyan. So I don't have to play these games. If you haven't stomped the Terra, I can't really talk to somebody because it's like we're talking foreign languages.
What do you mean? Stomp the Terra? What does that mean?
Stomp to terra means walking the territory.
Oh, it's like it's
Walking
military
the
slang.
Walking the earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stomp to terra, i.e., walking the earth. So, I sound agitated sometimes, but I'm not. I'm just frustrated, just like you guys are. I really, truly love all of you. You know this, Jaffe. I'm just a regular guy. Nothing special about me ever. And I just have been lucky enough to see places that this trailer trash motherfucker never should have seen. And
Well,
you know that.
yeah.
Anyways.
We've all got our our lives. We never know what destiny holds in store for us, and we make decisions throughout the course of our time on this earth. And you were, from the time of your birth, I guess, really, you were born to do what you did, and now you're here because that's what, I guess, your conscience has led you to to support and to stand behind. And people change. People change once you see things, whatever situation it is, up front, and you decide to walk away, turn your back, or alter your course, whatever that may happen to be. So, and speaking of altering courses, I guess, yeah, it would have been great if Canada could have managed to pull that off, achieve that in this most recent political spectacle and the theatrics that we saw unfold over the last couple of days is where it all came to a head, really. So the People's Party of Canada, though, that's and a proportional representation, something I think Vinny knows a little bit about. They have a mixed system here, supposedly, in Korea. I was talking with my adult students, and I encourage them quite often to look things up on their spy phones, and it seems what they indicated. I've got to investigate this a little further myself, but it's partly single member plurality, first person past the post, and also partly the proportional representation is how they have things structured. It's been that way since the early 60s, is what they were saying. So Australia has a mixed system as well too. Is that right, Vinny? As far as the way they go about holding elections. Maxime Bernier, though, People's Party of Canada.
I hate to educate people, but New Zealand.
That's what you're here for.
Is a different country. You know how the United
for fuck's
States
sake! I keep calling you Australian. Is that? Sorry, dude. Yeah. But isn't you're Christchurch, as memory serves. So you got to drop by the shore a little more.
I'm not
routinely.
I'm not in Christchurch either.
Well, close enough. But you know what, Australia, that's close enough too. You're all the same. You all look the same. So, and you all said
it's only a 1,400 kilometer difference in a country that's 1,500 kilometers long. So that's
jump in the water and start swimming.
I've got to say,
you'll make it there eventually.
Wow.
Yeah, but anyway, okay. So, but New Zealand it's a mixed system, the way they have things.
So if I may, having that correction made. Yes, we do have a mixed proportional system whereby we have two separate roles for people who are enrolled to elect. One is the Maori role, which are the native former cannibals and now iPhone users, with no gratitude, of course. And they have quite a significant power to run things how they wish. And indeed have been sending people who own their land, kind of thing, like they've bought this land, they own it, I've been getting sent notifications from Maori tribes saying that, yeah, you don't own that land anymore. And we own it now.
The
and
Maoris.
You can live on it, but
Maori.
if you yeah. But if you want to do anything with it, you have to ask us permission first. So you now have to ask for permission to use your own land under the thing. So it's created a lot of tension and divide and conquer business.
Thank God for
the population. Now, and may I finish? Just very recently, I had on Ronald McPherson from Rotorua, which means 2 lakes in Māori. And what they decided was, because they had a significant membership of the Māori role in their particular thing, that they wanted to make sure that each of their members had double votes, so that they could double so that each Māori vote counts as 2 votes, and each non-Māori, which is called Pākehā,
half a vote,
counts as 1. And I don't know if that sounds really kind of ridiculous or sort of like a power grab or something of that nature, but that is just what we're dealing with right here.
Thank God for New Zealand's Second Amendment. Isn't that that's one saving grace is your strong, solid Second Amendment rights. Yeah.
Actually, no. If you do say anything about this, not only is it kind of basically illegal to talk out about it, in fact, I've committed at least 6 crimes by telling you these things, then also you will incur extrajudicial retribution from Māori leadership and groups themselves, who are, in Ronald McPherson's case at least, threatening people with bodily harm, and that is completely legal for them to do. But if you are a Pākehā, a non-Māori person, that is just not all right, and we have to do something about that. Especially,
are there a lot of people?
Are the
right? Are there a lot of people now relocating, just saying, "Okay, we're out of here. Bye. We're leaving New Zealand."
You know what? We had a phenomenon called the brain drain, which is where all the intelligent people were moving to Australia. And the Prime Minister was famously quoted as saying that it raised the IQ of both countries. Now, the thing that's happening in terms of this sort of dynamic between Māori and Pākehā is that although the dynamic is occurring, you're not allowed to talk about it. And if you do talk about it, you will be called a racist and so on and so forth, unjustly, of course.
I'm sorry. If what is happening?
If you are questioning the whole tenet of the current iteration of Māoridom and the way that they're going and conducting their business currently, it's very, very dangerous. You can't speak. It almost reminds me of like being somebody in Iraq who didn't like Saddam Hussein and having to have all your conversations in the courtyard next to a radio that is on full volume and then whisper it to each other. That's kind of what we have in terms of freedom of speech.
Vinny,
in
you know
New
what?
Zealand. There is also one more point on this.
Sure.
The reason why this is possible is because of the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act. Now, the Bill of Rights Act states that under Section 2, you have freedom of speech. However, in Section 14, it says you do have all these rights unless we say you don't. All right, unless there's some kind of circumstance.
Unless somebody's feelings get hurt. Come on.
I mean, you can't.
Namely, the Maori.
Hurt, otherwise,
Maori
mankind would just come to an end.
Kaiser, you want to jump in there?
Vinny, I'm telling you, it's not like that. It is Stasi. I told people for years, what you're seeing is a blend of a Stasi state, capital S state, i.e. East Germany, DDR, Deutsches Demokratische Republik, and you're seeing a blend of the Chinese, CCP.
Global Bolshevism.
That is true. I can explain that, but go ahead.
Everybody fights me on this, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. They're like, well, the CCP killed homosexuals. I said, okay, maybe they did. But DDR, they were able to deplatform, i.e., they called it disintegration from society. Take your banking, take the way you could get around, take away everything from you. And remember, I started my game with the Army, Checkpoint Charlie, 287, military police brigades separate, or military police companies separate. And that's a fact. That's where I started and cut my teeth and went to SHAPE after that, after I'd already done nukes. So it's absolutely retarded that people can't see because they don't remember history. They didn't live it. And there were Australians, by the way, in Germany with the British. You were all part of the crown. I saw you guys even in the Gulf War. I just don't see how we forget this shit.
He's a key. I think
Anyway,
he's a Kiwi.
that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
Well, Kiwi is still.
Like I said, it's all
Can I
close enough.
I've got a few things to make on that note in terms of the CCP infiltration of New Zealand and the West in general.
Oh, hell yeah!
The mechanism is quite sophisticated, but also quite simple. So here we go. We've got the organized crime, the largest organized crime syndicate in China called the Triads, who did a deal with the People's Liberation Army. That is the Chinese CIA. And what they wanted to do was bribe officials in embassies to give out passports and citizenship to their agents, who they would send to your country. And these agents would be knowing or unknowing agents. They might think they've just won a trip or something.
Sleeper cells.
Sleeper cells. They are to. And the mechanism is this: they will come to your country, they will buy your homes, they will buy your businesses.
Vancouver.
They won't change the name of they won't change the name of the business, and they will get their children to study really hard at school so that they get top honors. And then when they graduate school, they are to go to university where they are to study even extra harder to get the top qualifications. Then the parents will pressure the children into getting government jobs. So within a generation or two, you'll find out that the entirety of your country, from the Prime Minister's office downwards, is controlled by the CCP. Indeed, when the Canadian officers of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police started an investigation into the CCP infiltration of Canada, they found that they owned 80% of downtown Vancouver, and the Triads had a presence in 100% of Canadian major ports. And that investigation that happened in the mid-90s, by the way, that was how much progress they'd made, was shut down by the Prime Minister's office.
Which Prime Minister?
1995.
Paul Martin?
I can't remember exactly which one.
He was smuggling cocaine,
but I do know
apparently.
That the investigation.
His ships were smuggling cocaine.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
It may account for
you are exactly correct, Vinny. And I'm telling you, we had the same thing where they had the prisons for their own people. They ship the dope that kills so many Americans, and I'm not fucking with you. I'm telling you the truth. Fentanyl. And remember, Jaffe, the other part of my backstory is I did work for Immigration and Customs. So I understand everything you're saying, Vinny, but you're throwing it to CCP, okay? And I understand that because I do believe it's a blend.
Of course.
And you may disagree with me, but what I'm telling you is deplatforming, and they're doing it in your country. They're doing it in Canada. They did it in the U.S. Now that's done. That's over in America. And that was straight out of the DDR through Eric Mielke and Eric Honecker. That was the era when this shit started. And in the West, let me rephrase that so I'm not clumsy about saying it. So we now understand each other, that I'm agreeing with you, and the triads have been a problem since fucking our time of building the damn railroad with Chinese labor.
Good point.
This is for real, and it's also for real, and Canada did it too. So you don't get a pass
Oh
either,
yeah.
Jaffe.
That's what I'm thinking of. I know exactly what you're talking about. The Chinese slave labor,
Railroad.
and of course.
It was, and also they still used to bang people on the back of the head, and next thing you know, they were slaves working on a ship.
Steam press.
And it's no different.
Press gang.
Nothing. Yeah, press gangs. Yeah, it's no different, man.
Portland. Portland. A lot of you know, and the Nanaimo, the west coast of British Columbia, with the opium dens and the underground, the tunnels, and humans in cages. It's nothing new. It's not like it just started with Epstein, you know.
It's not, Vinny, and I love you because you didn't know, and I never really commented on your page, but I used to listen to you a lot, and then all of a sudden you went away, and that's not your fault. I guarantee you that, because I got bounced off Facebook. So I know how and I got bounced off everything, actually.
Vinny was going through he was under a lot of pressure and stress. He's I think handled it relatively well. He's lucky to be
been very demure about it, and I love it. I said he's been very demure about it, which I love, because he's not claiming a victimhood status, and I'm not either. I'm saying I understand it, because
gotta own it.
Happened to me.
Gotta own it, man. That's the thing. It's like you don't take a stand. You don't take a stand. If we don't, we suffer the consequences, and we're punished under the system of tyranny that subsequent system of tyranny that ensues. And yet, if we do take a stand, we're required to face the music and you know, find ourselves you know, dealing with some pretty serious you know, forces essentially that we're up against, you know. So it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, kind of deal.
Let Vinny speak, because
we got to cut away to commercial break is what we got to do actually right now, and get to a few comments here. But just how would all of you here on the round table, this is our format, news, you know, weekly meetup and format, the way we do things when it's not the feature show or late night in Korea, which we haven't been producing too much of as of late. But how would you like just to cap this off before we cut away to commercial break, starting with Sonia? We haven't heard from you for a little while here, so let you have at it.
Yep, just hanging out, listening to stuff that I have no idea about. So yeah.
Okay, you get the 2 cents worth. All right, so just there you go. Just maybe you'll come up with something on the back side, the flip side of things here. That strikes you, or that you know, a news link or a URL, maybe a web page or a YouTube video. Vinny out of New Zealand, not Australia. You know, the thing is, we've got Amos Dale Allen, who often joins us via Australia, so that's, you know, partly you can blame him, you know, hold him responsible for my my way of misspeaking there. So yeah,
all his fault.
Be sure, yeah, engage before speaking, engage brain, you know, like rule number 1, top of the list. Yeah. So Vinny, it's good that you did reach out to us here, and yes, Skype is going by the wayside here next day or so, and I guess that's partly why you did so. Have you been familiarizing yourself to any extent with Teams There are a few little things I've noticed that are different, where they've kind of dialed down what has been offered here more, more freely via Skype, such as the fact that they only allow 20 people in each team room, essentially, or gathering place. That's the most that they will allow, unfortunately. So that, and screen share, I'm not sure if that's available. There's a few other features that are not on board at present, though. Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Eastwood, before we hear from our sponsors?
I think what everybody in this movement really needs to understand is that a lot of terrible things have probably happened to you in your life, and you had innumerable choices and ability to become corrupted, to lose your sense of humor, to become bad and not want to do the right thing. And you resisted those urges, didn't you? And that makes you very unique and very special in a world like this. I mean, look at what people have done to you, and look at what you've done for people. Okay?
What people they do to
thing.
others, not just ourselves, but is done to so many others. This is the voice of the voiceless. That's part of what we offer, how this functions, how this works here. That we provide a voice to those who, look at the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, people that are currently residing in cages that do not deserve or to be there at all. Whether it's the suspicion of a crime or just the fact they've been kidnapped and abducted. So but like I said earlier, God grant me the serenity
as
to
I was
accept
saying,
the things I cannot change.
As I was saying, it's okay to realize that you've done well considering what's happened to you. It's perfectly okay. And sometimes you don't recognize what you've done, and you don't give yourself enough credit. So every now and again, just give yourself a little bit of credit, everybody. All right? Pat yourself on the back. It's okay.
Sounds good. I like that. It's a positive. I like you. I've always, your wacky, off the wall sense of humor and positivity. It's very infectious, in a good way, of course. Only in a good way. Kaiser, you're last man on the that we've got here
on the totem pole.
Basically, yeah.
I agree with Vinny. Look, Vinny, I love you. I've heard a lot of your stuff. You're very positive. I'm not that way. I see my faults. I live with them. I take absolute, and Jaffe knows this about me. I take absolute.
Gotta own it.
Control. I was trying to think. Give me a sec. Control and feeling to it, because you were right. You said something, the corruptor. It corrupts absolutely. And don't think anybody's above it, because I thought I was, and it was hubris. And that's what I have to say, Jaffe, and I'll mute my mic.
Frodo and the Ring. That's right, Frodo and the Ring. So, but that's great. That's great, Kaiser. It's excellent. I would say the changes that have come about in your life and the way that you're kind of having what is it? I'm not sure. A change of heart, or just a reorientation, or a sense of your conscience maybe getting. Yeah. If you say getting the best of you necessarily, just that's not really it, but just seeing things in a new light, that's normal. I mean, you're human, for crying out loud. Definitely. So, but we value and appreciate you very much, Kaiser. And I know I often think about you, wonder how you're doing. Just assuming that you're busy working, of course, and, leave you to go about taking care of business, whatever that may be. And know that when the time is right for you, you will reach out to us here once again, as we can reconnect and carry on with the conversation. Speaking of Australia and Amos Dale, hey, great to see you, Alan, via both the D Live and YouTube end of things. By the way, Sonia, we forgot to launch the Telegram. I'm going to do that right now. Alice Cooper Band is back. How about that? Any Alice Cooper fans in the house? I know we certainly are. It's Michael Nolan. If here's a little value added content for you folks, Michael Nolan, check him out and his channel via YouTube if you're into classic rock and roll. He does a lot of great coverage and analysis. Someone we'd in fact love to have on the show at some point, but we'll just see if Sonia is actually able to convince him that it would be worth his time. So he does a lot of great coverage. So many of the great acts, Beatles, Stones, The Boss, Eagles, all the heavier groups, Motley Crue, Kiss, you name it, right? So Van Morrison, though, and Van Morrison is the one act that he's not done too much of at all to this point, zero that we can see, and I wonder why that is. He often harps, kind of hammers away and critiques the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jan Wenner, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the spectacle that's become in so many ways, where it should really have been named just something like the American or World Music Hall of Fame, because there's so many more acts that are, not quite rock and roll or far from rock and roll that do manage to make their way into the Hall of Fame. So, but Michael Noland, and he's done some great Alice managed to make their Cooper way coverage as of late, and we very much value that. But something else that we value, as a matter of fact, is the sponsorship and support that we receive here, courtesy of Red Dragon Herbs and Teas. So just as a reminder that with any order of $25 or more, you will immediately receive a 10% discount. All you simply have to do is let Ryan know one of two things, either simply Pirate Radio or Pirate Code. They will provide you with an immediate 10% discount. How could you possibly go wrong? Check out the great selection, variety, catalog of items that they have available. I think you'll be, really impressed. Obviously, that's
Red Dragon's the best, bro.
Have you?
I used it. Yeah, I did.
Good stuff.
So does Ryan and his wife.
Have you been?
It's all done. It's all done within their own little thing.
Sure.
And it's beautiful. And I wish I could support them more. And folks, if you want the best, you will find it with Ryan and his wife. It's family owned. It's so basic. They're just lovely human beings. And that's all I had to say. Once you brought up Ryan and Dragon, I didn't want to bring it up earlier during the show, but man, epic people. I've met a lot of epic people on this show, and you know that over the years. And that's, I just wanted to say that because you brought it up, brother.
Oh, good stuff. He's a former military vet himself. was he a Marine? I think he served as a Marine, did he not? And he was boots on the ground there.
Yes, he was boots on the ground roughly around the same time I was when I was either with GRS or whatever I was doing. Who knows what I was doing back then.
So, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, and we'll just ask, thank you for that commentary, Chuff, but just we're going to, as we queue up the sponsorship, the commercial break here, get everyone to mute out if they would. And once again, yeah, great quality products, and it's good to know that a few people out there are, sampling their wares and making the most of what they have to offer. So, meanwhile, on the CannaSense Cannabis Collective front, 5813 is what people need to take note of and keep in mind. That is our referral link. So we'll be back here in just a few brief moments. Friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, don't touch that radio dial or computer mouse.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at CannaSense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's CannaSense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. CannaSense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. CannaSense.com. CannaSense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herbs' mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free, headache relief, or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. We are back, folks, with the final segment to this week's live streaming edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show number 316. John 316. How about that? I was thinking about as we often do, the numerological implications, ramifications, computations of what the universe, so often likes to present. Something I would encourage everyone in their own lives, of course, to take note of wherever this occurs. But yeah, I have to look that one up. John 3:16. You'd often see that during the PGA Tour events, would you not? There'd be some goofy guy in a big wig, kind of fro deal, with the John 3:16 sign. there in the background. I never knew what it stood for. In fact, I don't think I've read parts of the Bible, both old and new, among various other religious texts, as it were. But does anyone know what John 3:16 actually reads? Kind of interesting to look into that. So, but with the let me just get to the comment end of things here, because there were people really going at it there, back and forth, along with Amos Dale, Gully Rat. Oh, Gully Rat, Alice Cooper fan. Used to play their Alice's VHS tapes every Halloween. Far out, man. Yeah, I dig Alice in many ways. The fact is everybody familiar and up to speed with the fact of how Alice professes, Christian kind of identity, with his spiritual path. So most people would never stop to think that was the case because of the dark, imagery to the show that he has long been presenting and performing. So pretty macabre, very much of the shadow, as it were. So, but great music though as well too, man. You listen to some of the tunes that he's put out over the years, and just have to go through like a whole list. I like to check out his disc. In fact, we do have a lot of his albums here on hand. So, 19 is one of the songs, and I have to sit down and study the compositions, as it were. Women Bleed, Only Women Bleed, I think, is another one. And there's just, everyone's got their own personal favorites, obviously. So any of you, Vinny, Kaiser, Sonia? I know Sonia probably gets tired of me bringing up Alice Cooper, but it's partly because I like Alice. And by the way, I don't think that's his real name. I think it's actually, he's another Vinny or Vincent, as it were. Have to check that one out though, just to #fact check.
I mean, I would comment on Alice Cooper, but I'm afraid that I'm not worthy.
Oh, really? Oh, why is that?
It's a Wayne's World reference.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I got it. That was hilarious.
Well, I got it too, and I was laughing.
Oh, Kaiser, drop out and come back like you did last time, because your audio's gone sideways again. It's gone goofy. Come back. Drop out. No, we can, but it sounds terrible. If you check out the playback, you'll see what we're talking about. We're not just making this up. So do what you did last time, and it'll work out fine, hopefully. Drop out, disappear, and rejoin. There we go. Good stuff. But as far as the comments go, once again, we have got, besides Gully Rat and Amos Dale and Zane Ivy, Kaiser, are you back here in the show?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Good. Sounds better. Yeah.
You asked about John 3:16.
Yes, sir.
Yep. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. And that's the basic promise. And I will suggest, and soldiers know this, Psalm 91.
Shadow of Death.
Psalm 91. You got to remember, I'm a piece of shit, and I was.
Oh, stop it, Kaiser. You're too hard on yourself, man. Come on, stop being. You're too hard on yourself.
Stop. No. Punishment never stops. Trust me on that. I know how I am. The more important part is Psalm 91. Look that up. Read it. By my left hand, by my right hand. the plagueth that come at night. You know, you understand a little more. And every soldier, Marine, airman, and sailor, I don't give a fuck what country they're from in the West, should know that. Because it is a horror. And that's the saddest part, is that when you're going through it, it's because of the man to your left and your right. And that's kind of the point, and that's why they do it, and that's the way it's done. I get it. I've been a cog in this machine for, fuck, all four was what, 30 plus years ago? That long ago, man, and even the Cold War. So, you know, I don't believe in blowing smoke up people's asses. And I would never do that. Jaffe, you've known me too long. Folks, my son went in too, and I tried to tell him how to go. Anyways, my children are fine. I love them. They love me. One I can't talk to because of who she works with now. And these aren't all from one marriage, so don't think I'm Mr. Pure and undriven snow. I'm a bag of shit just like my dad was.
You were married twice. This is your second wife that you're with now, is that right?
I've never been married but once.
Uh-huh.
They were all bastards, just like I am.
Mm. You have a son and a daughter, yes?
I have a son and a daughter out of wedlock, and I have my son with my wife.
Mm-hmm. That's 2 or 3 kids. I'm kind of...
That's 3 total.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay, right.
And I said my sons and my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, and your one son, I believe he's a Air Force mechanic or something.
No, he was a Marine Corps. Yeah.
Okay.
Mechanic.
Yeah. Let me finish up with the comments here. Thank you for that, Kaiser. Always appreciated. As I'm sure a lot of our listeners. This is
on the comments side of things.
I'd
like to give a good shout out to Amos, who's in the chat. How are you doing, Sassy?
Yeah. Yeah, now he's the key. He's the Aussie. He's the Aussie. He's our in-house resident Aussie. So let's see. We got, and let's not forget Amosdale 777. He also has a live stream, a show that he puts together on a semi-routine basis. So kudos to him. He's a keyboard warrior and someone who fights the good fight here, along with ourselves, obviously via the digital underground. Vinny Eastwood really is the veteran who really
Vinny's the best.
He's the OG. Vinny's the live streaming OG.
Well,
beat on all fronts,
Italy,
all counts.
In Italy, they call me the OG too, but it actually stands for oregano gangster.
I guess it could, yeah. So, Herb Anthony, we're just going to do a quick rundown of the comments here. Herb Anthony, I'm not sure if we can shake this up as far as the visual end of things is concerned to make it a little more appealing to the eye, but maybe not. So, finally found our live feed over on Fakebook. Good to hear. Zane Ivy, even this is interesting. Take note of this, folks. Even South Korean President Park, his wife. Oh, I see. Park Geun-hye? Really? Initiated by the Queen into the Order of the Garter. What was that all about, eh? So that's, the Queen herself, said to be the head of all world Freemasonry. Take that with a grain of salt. Clearly, now she's gone. It's presumably, the king who handles those.
It's Charles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but is that just like the Scottish Rite, or what are we looking at then exactly? Do you have much knowledge in that area, Kaiser? Is he the
Yeah,
is the de facto head of all world Freemasonry?
Charles Rex is de facto the head of the church, and Vinny can verify he's the head of the church. The Scottish Rite, remember, he wears a kilt. You know, even though it's from Wales, there is a Welsh, you know, part of that. It's all about that line, and people don't understand, you know. Remember, I was D. Malay when I was young. I told you this in one of our past shows.
It warrants repeating. You know, a lot of our listeners out there will have no idea this is the case. So you rub shoulders with Bill Clinton on those on that count, I guess. Is that what it is?
Rubbed shoulders with a lot of people. It's just the nature of the beast. And like Vinny said, Vinny is right. And I'm going to say it again. The corruptor corrupts everything, including you. And you may not think it will, but it will. And it's the old Mark Wahlberg movie with Chow Yun-fat, I think it was, The Corruptor.
Oh, really?
He stated that. Yeah, he stated that.
It's a dark comedy?
And it was fact. No, it was
action.
I think the movie was called The Corruptor.
That Chung Yun-fat is a martial artist?
Yeah, but he was a cop in that one, a New York cop.
So he was more like drama, suspense, action, thriller.
Yeah, it was drama, suspense, and human trafficking and all that shit. So,
what year? What era?
That would have been
90s.
90, early 90.
The Corruptor. Is it worth watching? Is it a good movie?
It's very worth watching.
Okay.
Because it's of the world.
Excellent.
If you watched it, you would understand a few more things.
Sure.
Same with Vinny.
That's right. Revelation of the method.
Anyway,
is what it...
Vinny said it, so I'm giving him full credit, even though I've said it for years. Vinny, you have that. I give that to you because you are the man, and I respect you a lot, and I respect Jaffe, and honestly, Sedona, I respect you too, girl. So
Sedona,
you guys all can walk all over me.
Well, thanks for that, Kaiser. I get that a lot.
Hey, can everybody see this on the screen here? What we just brought up, these are the talking points. Now, this is not carved in stone or definitive. It's just kind of some ideas that we had in mind. We thought we'd maybe touch upon. We often fail to do this, and so there's some health related issues here that we, a cure for cancer, censored truth about apricot seeds and vitamin B17 pharma is hiding. Can you just imagine, like, what's next? They're gonna what they won't do is outright, as Kaiser was alluding to earlier, and what we all experienced throughout the course of the whole scamdemic, censor, deplatform with us on YouTube, folks. Hey, it'd be nice if we could pick up a super chat from time to time, don't you think? Guess what? We've never been able to. Why? They refuse to monetize us. We're not good enough for YouTube. We're not cool enough. We don't have that cool factor to us, I guess. So, or what have you. But Vinny, were you able to? You were monetized for some time through YouTube, and then they just shut you down overnight, pretty much, didn't they?
I had to start from scratch. It took me, I think, 2 years to get back over 1,000 subscribers, down from 63,000 when I got deplatformed. And then I was able to monetize and get some super chats. So I think I did 6 months of shows, and in total from super chats, I got about $150. So that was, at least it's something.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it, although it's, we find it ourselves here to be a little disheartening and demoralizing at times with the lack of, I know there's a lot of people out there that share the links, they leave comments, they subscribe and help us out in a whole host of other ways. But if, with the PayPal end of things, Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com, the Patreon support, let us know if you'd like to see some more Patreon content coming your way, or the swag that, if Sonia, if in fact you share that in the chat area, and we'll pull that link up and just show an example of what we have available, you can easily, purchase, get your hands on without too much difficulty. Alan has been a big supporter. Alan out of Australia, Amosdale. He's, some of our exclusive, the first items that were, came rolling out off the line. He purchased, and has been, occasionally sports live on camera, to show off to the wider.
Yes, and just as a note, to add to that, out of that $150 that I got out of 6 months shows, I think probably about 140 of those dollars came from Amos.
Oh my God. The guy, he's got the guy is just, he's got a heart of gold. He's a, hashtag good karma. That's all I'm going to say to that. Okay. Hashtag good karma.
Jaffe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny thing is I've never noticed. I never monetized anything. I don't care about money. It's about my soul and getting out my truth. And on my YouTubes, both of them, I never asked for a penny. And I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I have everything I have with my children and my wife. So don't any of you worry about me at all. I'll be okay.
You're doing well. You're sitting pretty. Yeah. Well, and you're doing well. You're sitting pretty. It sounds like you're not struggling too much financially. Your wife, she's recovered from her health issues. I guess they've stabilized. She's doing better. Is that right?
Yeah. She's almost died 3 times.
Terrible.
Yeah,
is she back to work?
Yes.
She can.
She's
That's
doing
great.
her thing.
What a
she works for, and
that's good stuff.
And that was a scare, but brother, I'm the most blessed man on this planet. Don't ever think when I get down on myself, it's because of my failures. And I own it. I have complete ownership. And I'm allowed to do that. And nobody can take it away from me. So don't think it's a pity party. It's about ownership.
Yeah.
And you have to own your bullshit. And trust me, all of it was my bullshit. Nobody else did that to me. I did it. And anyway, so I'll mellow about it and say, look, folks, support Jaffe. He's a good man. I've known him for a bunch of years, and he knows that. Support Vinny and support
Sonia.
Sonia. I'm sorry. I said, oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Sonia.
It's okay. Yeah, I said Australia, so don't worry.
No, I said
we speak sometimes.
I'm
going to get you back for that, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm going to get you back.
I'm a Yankee. Just remember, I'm a Yankee on the run here in South Korea.
Yeah, just say I'm a dumb, ignorant hillbilly, and we're good.
Yeah.
You all can say that on this call.
So yeah.
It's okay. I don't need a thing, and I don't want a thing. I just want my voice out there. I think it was early 90s when there was a movie that came out called Pump Up the Volume. And Pump Up the Volume was pirate radio. and what's his name? Christian Slater.
There you go.
Was in it.
That's right.
And Pump Up the Volume.
That's what we're here to do.
Jaffe.
You bet we're here to rock this ship, man. Rock this ship. Pump up the volume, and you know, do all we can to, you know, steer.
Everybody knows. Everybody
That's right.
knows.
That's right.
Wait.
Well, I was just thinking, pump up the volume with Hard Jaffe.
I'm sorry. Pump up the volume. Would what?
Pump up the volume with Hard Jaffe, because Hard Harry was Christian Slater's alter ego was on the thing. Yeah, but I think Hard Jaffe also has
no, you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you, Vinny, you're wrong. It was Happy Harry Hard On.
Yeah, that's right. That's a Leonard Cohen allusion too, if I'm not mistaken. It's like
it was a Leonard Cohen song. Everybody knows.
That's
Old
right.
Black Joe still picking cotton. Yeah.
Your ribbons and your bows.
Exactly.
I love Leonard Cohen, man.
I do too, man.
Do you know that he was a longtime Mossad asset?
I know he was.
Yeah. And he was long.
Just like Epstein. Yeah.
Well, but I don't think he was that.
Another fellow Ohioan that was a long time.
Lex Wexner.
Lex Wexner. Yeah, we talked about that years ago. So,
a fun fact: Kaiser had an opportunity to work for Wexner, but declined. Was not interested. He saw too many. Was it kids around the pool with all these men, and was it chilled underage?
With the Speedos. Yeah.
Did you ever report this at all, or I mean?
Yes, I did. Yeah, of course I did.
He's a powerful guy, though, isn't he? He owns everything.
Everybody turned their eyes from me. Yeah. And it still didn't stop me from going into federal service and doing my shit. So fuck it, you know? I guess noticing something one time is okay. You notice it too many times, you become a noticer. That's when it becomes a problem.
The powers that be do not really appreciate. Yeah, they're not down with people noticing too much, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, the deep state, you got to reform, and genuine reform, you know, clean up corruption, but things like electoral reform. Look at Canada as of late. It's just total nonsense. You know, that People's Party of Canada, Maxime Bernier, like they were polling at nearly 5%. It had to have been close to 5%. The media never covered them. They ignored them, suppressed as much as they could. They never showed up at any of the polls.
Tucker did.
Well, no, but that's different. No, you're not. Let me finish. Yes, Tucker did. Patrick Bet David did. And see, Maxime Bernier was smart. Pierre Poilievre, did he drop by Joe Rogan or any of these other big social media outlets and shows? Nope. And he lost the election.
He was running to the left.
Poilievre, you're talking about Poilievre and the PC, the conservatives?
Yes, Poilievre. He ran to the left and disavowed Trump. He did that. He fucked his election up.
What should he have done? What would you have done, or what should he have done where it would have been?
So
pardon me.
I wouldn't have done anything. I said I'm not Canadian, but I wouldn't have done.
Doesn't matter. Just we're looking for some strategy.
I would have embraced Trump,
right,
and said, "Yes, I will figure this out, and we'll get it done."
Well, it would have been like a national referendum. That's the way it would have divided the country. Trump does have support in Canada.
Remember,
you did work with the guy.
I worked northern border.
Look,
in Detroit.
You got to be diplomatic.
I know how much still goes. Okay, I know how much still goes back and forth on that border.
Not as much as the southern border, but not by any means.
No, I said still, not guns. I said still, and we're talking like crushed cars and shit.
Oh, steel. I see. Sure.
Yes, still.
Okay.
And I know the trade we have with you guys, and I know what it is and why we do it. And I would have been rushing down to Detroit and saying, look at Detroit. It's still a shell of what it was, but thanks to what we've given, you have Greektown. You have different places you can go, that are safe, semi safe.
Where in Detroit?
Greektown.
I've never heard, dude, where's Greektown? In Detroit?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Greek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the old kind of Greek
And
part of the city. Okay.
Windsor, Ontario.
My mom used to live there. I
Yeah.
visited her once. I flew out on my way to Europe in 99, summer of 99. That's when I hit Berlin, the UK, Netherlands, had a great time, great tour, meeting all kinds of people, attracting a little attention. But that was my intent. I was a street busker, right? And performer. So
and you still are. I've seen you do it in well, we're not talking about that. And you've done that in Korea.
Yeah, I've
You
recently
are
started.
and you're a good man, and that's what I'll say. And I love it. And you and your wife, I hope you guys are beautifully happy.
3 cats. Don't forget the 3 cats.
I know. I'm not forgetting.
You're not a cat guy, are you? You're not a cat guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm a dog guy.
Yeah, you do a dog
but
guy.
I love you guys. Anyways, point being is, I'm a fan of beef bulgogi, and I know what the real term means, so you know it too.
I don't know what that means. What beef? It's Italian.
Okay, one second. My little girl has to go outside. Let me let her out.
Well, just meet yourself out, man. That's probably the best way to do things there. So, look, we got about half an hour here, people. Did you check out the talking points? I kind of scrolled through and tried to allow everyone a chance to at least see them if they hadn't already managed to access on their own. Anything that really comes to mind that we haven't covered to this point? What can we expect on the horizon? What's really big in the latest, weekly news cycle outside of the what we've seen on the transpire on the Canadian front over the last couple of days? It all kind of coming to a climactic head. Sonia, you lend a hand if you would, or at least a little bit more input.
Sure.
What do you got to before we? I mean, look, this is like a weekly meetup, basically, is what it boils down to. Occasionally, we might have Friday night feature show. I tell you that with a little more help on the sponsorship end of things, we will definitely make more effort and put more energy into bringing to the public, the wider listening world, these Friday night feature shows. But
well,
just what?
If you don't mind the cussing, I've got someone that I'd like to bring on, but he cusses an awful lot.
Your son?
I don't think he cusses as much as Kaiser.
The jailbird, the recently sprung jailbird. Is that right?
Nope. I'm talking about Dan Christos.
your new boyfriend.
No, he's not my boyfriend.
Well, he's your new house guest? Yes.
No.
Okay, so
he does Ball Busters, the show.
You're joking.
On
what?
Rumble and YouTube.
He's with you now?
No, I never said that. I've
seen. Well, what you're saying? You're gonna bring someone on who's cussing a little bit. Is he with you?
Bring him on the Friday show.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good show. I like that one. I've seen that. I like it.
Yeah. Have you?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Good call.
Cusses, though. He might be able to curb it a little bit, but I don't want to be all, you gotta not.
No, you don't. No, look, hey, we're pirates. You got the one complimentary F-bomb. And after that, it's 10 doubloons to the community potty mouth swear jar. Right. Half of everything that.
Sure.
Why don't more social media? Maybe Vinny can help answer this. Why don't more social media personalities and shows embrace this business of hashtag WWRHD, what would Robin Hood do, and giving back to the community. So that half of everything we manage to generate goes back to the people. There's a lot of folks out there that are struggling, and if you can properly vet, these candidates, then why not? Support them in some way. Don't, not to the point where they become dependent on it, but at least help them out of a little tight spot. We've done that, on more than one occasion, and it's people really do appreciate it, because you have strangers really just from out of nowhere that are stepping up, and like angels in human form, right? The Bodhisattva. That's what the Bodhisattva really is and embodies. John 3:16. Not necessarily his only son. I mean, that's something that's long kind of irked, puzzled me and been a bit of an irritation. How is it that we're not all sons and daughters of God or creation? Like, that's just ridiculous, I mean,
Well,
Christ was
Bodhisattva is
Bodhisattva,
real.
Bodhi, yeah. In Korea, they call them Bo-sal, Bo-sal, Bo.
Yeah,
So,
that's like Young Hungbyung. Yeah.
like what?
You got to remember, I was in Korea. I was
Yeah.
Haebyung,
Mm-hmm.
Hungbyung. Marine.
Tina Turner. Yeah.
She just jumped it on. Look at that. Old girl.
What?
She's got it going on.
Your dog is going crazy, going like, I don't even know. Make sure, don't bring it on camera, whatever you do.
Shit.
Cut your mic.
You just
turn your mic
that
off.
roll. Little girl couldn't help but to move. Come on now.
Are you talking about Sonia or your little biatch that you got there?
Girl, baby, my little pit bull.
Is she a puppy?
She
said biatch.
Yeah. Is she a puppy?
She used to wrap around my neck. Now she lays and pushes me.
That's so sweet.
It's so sweet. Yeah.
What's her name?
It's Sandy Lee Shuff. She has my middle name. Sandy is from the family that taught me how to ride horses and love dogs.
Sandy Lee.
And Shuff is, of course, my last name.
So
it's my little girl.
Your audio's crapping out again. We'd love to see her on camera. So if you want to duck out and maybe see if you can
and put it on Facebook, because I know you're still on Facebook.
You're back on Facebook too after they shut you down for a while.
It was 3 months now. I've been back on.
Well, so now we can tag you again, or would you rather we not do that?
No, don't do that on Facebook.
But
if I back again,
okay,
but I am on Twitter.
We can.
I'm still.
Yeah, good.
I gotta send you the actual account because remember I had the alt-right investigation.
They suspended us, dude. They shut down both of our accounts. Free speech. Elon Musk. Elon, not so free speech Musk, suspended both of our accounts.
No, Elon brought me back. So did Zuckerberg.
Well, then ask.
It was
bullshit. Okay, look, we got
for both of them.
Okay,
they said. Yeah, anyways.
No, okay, well, let's hear from you more clearly. Drop out and come back in, and we got like 30 minutes tops here left. The final segment. If you are kind of cracking up and crackling up, you'll be able to hear this easily enough in the playback, Shuff. So we'd love to hear, more from you on these matters. But Gully Rat is saying, my poor dad suffered a stroke. Been spoon feeding him supper the past couple months. Provided some plain food. Oh man, my mom kind of just before she passed away. I talked to her on the phone just like a week before she died, and she sounded really good, but that COPD business got to her. She was in the old folks home, and it's just 75. She just 75, and you just don't stop to think or realize. So wanting to reconnect with my dad, before too long. So we got something in the works here to hopefully make that happen before too long. And the rest of the family back in Canada. He was usually sitting up at a table in the wheelchair. Bad yesterday, wanting to cover his bottom with the red plate like a kilt. Oh, interesting. Talking about, I think, Sonia loves kilts. Oh, God. Well, big surprise, that one, huh? So, the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy said our technology permits to manipulate time and space. Thank you, Herb. To manipulate time and space during a speech in April 2025, Endless Frontiers Retreat in Austin, Texas. Yeah, that's right. So wormhole technology, yeah. Well, and that, this is, reaping the fruits now, I guess, of what Philip Corso, the Colonel Philip Corso, talked about via the Art Bell show. Mostly is where we heard from him, of course. So, and this whole claim that there was a treaty. I don't know if you call it intergalactic necessarily. Some kind of treaty that was signed. Eisenhower signed off on back circa 1954. Greada, the Treaty of Greada, as it's known, in exchange for alien ET off-planet technology that humans would be made available. In what capacity exactly is anybody's guess. It does get a little dark, though, is what it would seem. Just, make no mistake about that. Not all ET. Yeah, that just stands to reason. Not all off-world, beings would be friendly or benign, necessarily. So it'd be kind of naive to think that was the case. I think we're pretty much up.
Kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Kind of funny, isn't it? That how many people we brought across the border that now children especially are missing.
Oh, God.
See, people aren't looking at things in proper perspective.
Some people
Would you, if anybody in this chat or thought, would you allow your child, even if it's a babysitter or something, you would worry if there was an issue that you saw, let alone going across the border? And I can speak on this. Well, I'm not going to say why. We saw this before in the 70s or 80s. It went including into the 80s from Canada to Ohio. And I know this for a fact. People were replaced and things happened.
People, I'm sorry, were replaced?
Yeah, replaced.
What does that mean?
Well, look up Jaffe. I think we brushed on this before. Somebody comes across the border and there's another somebody, and it's like a Potemkin village that the other person was, and it's a seamless replacement. And the DNA was exact.
That's weird.
Not exact, but near.
How would you manage something like that?
Well, winning, there's a lot of ways.
How with a DNA match? Oh, jeez. Anyways, so hopefully it looks like
said twinning. I said it to you. Twinning.
Oh, twinning.
Yes.
You're talking like cloning?
Basically.
So like alien technology is what we're kind of getting into that whole.
Not alien. it's these Germans did that shit, and the Russians did too.
Boys from Brazil.
So, yes, basically, yeah. Or if people want to get all funky with it, Shockwaves. Remember that 70s thriller? Yeah. The Perfect Race. Yeah, whatever.
So, okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, there's lots of issues that impact and affect our world and ourselves as well on a day-to-day basis. Someone did make the point in the comments section, however, that, there's a lot more people far more, not as well off as we ourselves are. And I guess, it's as far as quality of life, quality of living, standard of living, but all of that, keep in mind, it's like I said earlier, the leveling. The first world is being brought down to the third lowest level. Well, it's the takeoff theory with Rostow's takeoff theory abroad in Africa and here in Asia and everywhere else, where these impoverished countries exist, to lift them up so that everything's all balanced out. And in conjunction with the Kalergi plan, you have the great replacement, which doesn't exist, by the way. The great replacement is just it's like one of these. It's a racially based, like a delusional conspiracy theory. If you dare to see, the thing is, we're gaslit endlessly, being every bloody issue you can possibly think of. It's just all bullshit.
It's a masturbational fantasy. And we can't bring everybody up without pushing everybody else down.
Well, how about just telling them to go home, unless they're like a bona fide political refugee, fine, but the open doors, so-called immigration policy and, the way of doing things on that front has become too liberal. But it's like the doors have been blown completely off, obviously, reaching crisis levels, and it's got to change.
I'm a classical liberal, a Jeffersonian liberal, and I'm just to the right of fucking
Genghis Khan.
I was about to say it, brother, but you already knew.
I can read I have telepathic powers.
Yeah, well, you knew it because I've said it so many times on this program. And I'm like, no, it's not right. It's a masturbational fantasy, just like COVID. A brother of mine fought me, saying, "Oh, it was natural. It was this, that, and the other." And he was like, "Well, how'd this?" And I'm like, "Shut your mouth." The CIA and everybody else is now admitted, and even Robert Malone knew this, and they banned him.
Yeah.
Because he told the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Look, they don't like truth tellers. I'm trying to tell you truth.
Not in the world of lies.
I don't lie to you. I have lied to my wife because I was a piece of shit. I will admit to that. But I never lied about anything else. And it makes me angry that I was that big a piece of shit. And you have to own it at some point. And it angers me every time I see these fucks try to play games. I'm like, I know what you're doing, boys. You're as corrupted as I was.
On the take.
Yeah.
That's
No, I wasn't on the take. I was just playing the game.
Oh, useful idiot. That's what they call useful idiots.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. So I'm not going to act like I'm something better than anybody else. That's retarded.
At least you've woken up. That's what's most important here. That people wake up. That's the whole point of our life and existence. Really.
I don't I don't
Kaiser,
like
what
my
age? Can I ask? Kaiser, how old were you when you actually like just woke up and realized that you were doing the wrong thing as part of the machine?
Probably about 9 years ago.
So you were like 31.
No, I'm going on 57.
He would have been
41.
57, 47, 48.
47.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that works with the demographics on my old channel because, like, the amount of people that would listen to it in their teens, my old thing was 0% of the audience. 0%. The people in their mid-20s and stuff like that, maybe like 1.2%. But it's only when you start to get to the 30s, 40s, and 50s, I think, after people have been living a life where they've been involved in certain things, that they really begin to question it. It does not happen to the youth, generally speaking.
Right.
My son listened to you, Benny. So, and he's 28. So
he'd be part of those 1.2%ers.
Yeah. He actually really enjoyed you just like I did. Look, man, we're not the problem. We're the cure. I don't know how the cure gets injected into the system, but we'll see.
Powers that be are doing all they can to shut us down, and with the algorithms and the ratcheting down, the gaming of the algorithms, as compared to, once again, outright deplatforming or just censorship suppression. Look at our show description, people. We've been kicked out to, was it Gab? Gab is quite something. Can you believe we can't even access our Gab accounts here via this particular ISP? And to say that this Cloudflare outfit is not in any, it has everything to do with the intelligence community, the way that they've got.
I'm sorry, I'd like to take this back. I'd like to take this back if I can, Kaiser. Can you explain what is your catalyzing incident? Because you said at 47 years
That's a
of
good
age
question.
that you woke up. What was the incident that triggered that?
Finally,
my wife almost dying 3 times.
9 years ago.
From an outpatient, from an outpatient emergency. And Jaffe knows. You can all look this up. This is open source. I went through this, man. And then they kicked me off Facebook.
Why?
No, I started waking up at 9 years ago.
You got kicked off.
It was about
you got kicked off
5
Facebook
years ago. I got kicked off.
Well, Kaiser, we connected right around the time you were starting to wake up then, essentially, correct?
Yes.
You came onto that show.
Before then, because I was telling you about something that we'll never talk about again. Don't bring it up.
It's out there, and it's dealing with your military service, something.
I watched my brother stop. Don't do this, or I will never come back on. You know what?
Well, I'm not Dr. J, so don't worry. But it's out there. It's out there, and a lot of people know about it.
I know. And it's the fucking truth.
So
that was way more than 9 years ago, bro.
Right.
Anyways, my point being is I got kicked off 3 years ago once my wife was suffering because she went through an endoscopic surgery and they
down through the throat, through the mouth, and down. I had one of those once too. Yeah.
And
ulcers and bleeding. They're good now.
Oh, they cut all the way into her spleen because I don't know the other.
They screwed up. Somebody messed up, eh? Jesus.
Syrian. Yeah. And we were speaking Arabic. Anyways, I don't care about this. I was angry in a man who I love and I will always adore because he saved my family because I got my bag out and I was going back down. And you know what that means, and I don't have to say a word. And I said, nope. And he goes, you're not leaving. Give me your keys to the house. And I did. And a good man drove from Alabama in a snowstorm. A snowstorm. All the way to Ohio. And fucking stayed at my house and said, call me when you get to the hotel. So no one gets to tell me about my life. I know my life. And I just rediscovered the love that I have for my wife. And she doesn't even understand it.
This is nine years ago?
No. I said this was about 3 years ago, bro. I don't know. Whenever I got kicked off Facebook is when I couldn't even talk to anybody.
You started to wake up. Vinny's question had to do with when the like a lot of people with 9/11, for example, that did it for them. You know.
No, 9/11. I was before 9/11, bro. I was working for DIA at that time, planning and training, and I came home. It was 9/10. I knew that Donna Rumsfeld said it was 2.3 trillion they had lost.
You caught that in real live time, did you? That when the day that he reported that?
I saw it at the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. I saw it at the Pentagon.
Yeah, what's a couple trillion also, here or a couple trillion there? No big deal.
It was 2.3 trillion. I think that's correct. Anyways,
that's correct. That's how the story goes.
And then before I left, I found out that a hero of mine, Amir Masood, was killed.
All right.
By an
and then Putin called Bush.
And
Putin called Bush.
No, I didn't know this. Well, I was driving home. I had to leave. And I drove home.
Head of the Northern Alliance.
I got home at about 4 a.m, fell into the bed, exhausted. And I wake up to a crying wife telling me a tower's fallen down, the other one's on fire. There's a plane they're looking for.
Israel has nothing to do with this.
No, I'm not saying any of that.
I just did.
This is
and Israel has nothing to do with this. Whatever you think.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. No, I did.
I didn't say that.
No, I did.
I'm saying this is my experience.
That was the punchline.
And I was like, we're at war.
Obviously, yeah.
Because you didn't come up during the Cold War.
No, I didn't have to, or whatever you say. I watched on TV myself. It's like, oh fuck, this is not good. I went to the bank, got some money taken out, and was like, oh shit. Prepared for.
And then I watched the second tower fall. And
who were they going to blame?
Call. Yeah. Still had landlines. And they said, you have to come to the marshal's office in Columbus.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
And to the place where we're able to make secure phone calls, which you guys have all heard about now. And I went there, and they said, you have to come back. Your leave's revoked. I said, I'm a civilian. fuck you. I don't have to. I'll resign. And in that skiff, the son of a bitch actually said, "Can you ride a horse?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yes." So October 26th, mark this down. You can fucking point it down on a plan because it's the truth. I was on the ground in Afghanistan. And when you, I really can't go.
You got 10 minutes here,
that.
and I'm not sure how we're going to end the show. If it's,
Sorry.
you know, it's great to hear from you. No, definitely. How would you like to cap that off? This is a great story. Where did this all lead us? And this is, but you still hadn't really woke up, as it were. This is because
no, I didn't at that point, but I will. I did with my wife. Her injuries, I still don't believe that was accidental.
Oh, there we go. Therein lies the rub. I see. Yeah. Well, why was
saying? That's why I said we were speaking Arabic together.
You and your wife? Who? The doctor? He's muted him. You muted yourself out, Kaiser. We can't hear you. So that's a good point. Yeah, okay. So maybe
the surgeon.
Oh, he was
Syrian.
I see.
Arabic together, and I liked him. And that's why my brother from Alabama drove up. That's what I said.
Yeah, okay. Just the timeline, events, all the people and actions that were taken, and I see. So hold it. So, but was she having these health issues as you were being deployed that they wanted to send you to Afghanistan? Is that right? Or what's the connection there? Nothing?
No, this was
9 years ago, and then 3 years ago.
No. Okay, let's go back. See, timelines are stupid with me. Look,
September 11th.
What was 2001?
24 years ago.
Right? That's right.
You weren't. You were just you were cog in the machine. First,
okay. 2018, 19. I can't remember. 3 years ago, whatever it was.
22. 21. 22.
No, that wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be right. No, it would have been 5-6 years ago then.
Oh, okay.
2018.
Oh, okay.
I was going back to Afghanistan.
Really? Oh, and that's when your buddy drove through the snowstorm and told you.
Went through her. Yeah, that's when. And then I got banned in 2019 or 2020
from Facebook.
Shortly thereafter. Yeah, from Facebook.
Okay, I'm confused. You said it was like 3 years ago, but okay.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking the same way you are. You got to remember, man, my son's 28 almost, and you know, I days go by, and still I think of you, Jaffe.
That's crazy the way our life just everything, this life existence here on Earth just flies by. It's you know, I'm at the age now where for me it's music. I'm all in as much as I can be. I've never written more songs. Oh, you're writing songs?
No. I'm like, I love watching All In podcast because it says wet your beak, and it's about music. If you listen to Wet Your Beak, and I only go, bro, every day my wife hates it.
What?
Trust me. Every day I play my music.
Oh.
And I love my 70s, 80s.
Sure.
You know,
oh, hell yeah. yeah, and yeah. Oh, dude, oh yeah, hell yeah. Like it's a it's like a relationship with a woman. There's something, a love affair, and I just have for years I just gave it up. I said, wait, what's the point? I'm here in South Korea. I'm not really tied into much of a music scene at all. I'm sick of going up to Seoul to, to be part of an open mic or to get some stage time. And I had no interest in writing. But no fire in the belly, man. You know, the fire in the belly. And I've just lost it all. But now over the last couple of years, thanks to people like Van Morrison, mostly, and just the fact I'm getting older, it's like a wake up call. It's like I could be dead. I could be dead today or tomorrow. So, like, what kind of legacy?
Memento mori, brother. Look, a little less
remember death. Yes, memento mori. Yeah. Translation. Yeah, exactly. That's very Buddhist. Very Buddhist. Yes.
You can leave life right now. And now it's more.
Many people are. Anyways. Many people are. Many people are being born.
I know.
And you're cracking up, so I'm not sure if you're being born or dying or somewhere in between. Something's happening if you're with your quality of your connection. Line.
I'm jacking
you're jacking off. You're jacking off what? Dude, hands up on the screen, above board. Don't none of that stuff. Save that for after the show.
My hands are up. Anyways, you're being stupid.
So Kaiser, you're gonna have to hang up and reconnect. We can't hear you properly.
I'm busting your balls, Kaiser. Give me a break. Come on, woohoo! Busting your balls. Yeah. I think he'll be back. So, hey, Vinny, thanks for your yeoman's effort here and service. You've really, had you heard it? Had you known about Kaiser to this point at all? Had you heard of him and his
no? The only Kaiser I'd heard of was Wilhelm.
He's a super soldier. This guy, he's like total black ops dude. In case you haven't noticed. Like he's, so that's all I'm gonna say. I think hopefully he won't track me down and want to shoot me for having portrayed him in that sort of light, but
I can't really count on fingers and toes how many conversations I've had that never happened with people like that. The things that I've been told and the things that I've been shared that I can't tell anybody about. They're like, Vinny, you can't tell anybody about this.
You're talking about off. Well, that's off the record. You're talking about things that are said in discretion, off the record, in confidence, correct?
Yeah.
So and I pride. That's our reputation. If these things are said, that's our reputation. We know that, and that's part of the journalistic ethic. And you find that as a doctor as well. The doctor-patient confidentiality.
It's a position of fiduciary responsibility. So if somebody says that you can't have remember that this conversation never happened, the correct response is what conversation?
Yeah, what conversation exactly? Yeah, forget about it. So Kaiser, I've.
I said my hands are off of it. I said I'm jacking away from this because it was so funny. I was trying to say I have been telling you this for years.
Yeah. Breadcrumbs.
And yeah, they're breadcrumbs, but they've also been truthful. Have they not?
Connect the dots, folks. Connect the dots. So, sure. I presumably so. Of course, you're speaking from the heart.
But yeah, they tried to kill my wife. That's what I feel.
Really,
and that's why my brother came up from Alabama to stop me from doing what I was about to do. And that's all I'll say.
Okay.
You'll never know. Look.
Well, it's good he did. That's good he did. I guess, obviously. Yeah. So
like Vinny said earlier, Vinny, you don't know how valuable I think you are. I'm going to tell you, you are very valuable because it stopped something. Because I was thinking, what in the fuck are you thinking? And I had to stop, stutter step, and think before I moved. And then the boy said, "Give me your keys. Take your car keys. Here they are."
What? And
And
you
you
were
know
at
what?
this time, you were thinking about Vinny when you were in the midst of all
No,
this?
no. Vinny talked about this. He knows what he said before. If you feel angry, don't act on it. This is Vinny.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So you were like eye for an eye. So assuming let's assume your wife had passed away, you were
Oh, that would have been a different
well. But
situation.
what? Yeah, but here's a question, Kaiser. What if you were mistaken? What if if it had been just an accident?
No, it wasn't. I
You're
already know.
now, and why do you say? How can you be so certain, though?
I already know.
Well,
That's
that's as
all.
much as you're going to say, I guess. Then,
Yeah.
so you're certain in your own
And,
mind.
and that man's gonna be safe the rest of his life. I will never touch a hair on his head.
It's
I
a
don't.
man from Syria. Did you say?
Yeah.
He's Syrian. How about that? That's quite something. Well, look, folks, we're all out of time here. We're going to check the comment section. Just revisit here. People have been really unpacking a lot. Gully Rat, Sonia, of course, over on D Live. Now, I don't know if we've picked up
I'll
any.
sign you done.
Let me just ask Sonia something. You're over on D Live. Look, hang on, Kaiser. We have to know because we don't. You're our eyes and our ears. We're just focused here on one screen only, as it is, and that's all we've got. Over on D Live, has there been
Yes.
any? Sometimes Reverend Jim drops by with diamonds and all kinds of great digital
Yes,
rewards. This week?
there's been quite a bit of conversation going on. And there are a few diamonds that came in
I
from
see.
Gully Rat
Oh,
and
oh man!
from Just Rev.
And from who? Who is the other individual?
Just Rev.
See, I'm sorry because
REV.
just Rev never even he did not even register on when people drop diamonds or any sort of digital love via D Live. It doesn't come up on Restream. Okay, it just does not. That's just a
And then we
fact.
got Just Rev did another ice cream, or did an ice cream and a lemon, and Amos did an ice cream just now.
So, well, thank you guys, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can imagine people get kind of pissed off. It's like, hey man, we dropping all this digital love, and you're not responding. And we had one guy, he dropped a Ninja Genie on us. Check out how much those are worth. A Ninja Genie, and he got really pissed off because we didn't acknowledge the fact that he'd done so within about 30 seconds, and it's like that's the last time I'll ever have anything to do with you guys. This lousy stream. So he liked it, I guess, for a while, but there we go. There's Just Rev. But we see his character coming up, but we do not have. We've never can see any of the digital love. So thank you, Rev. You are. I mean, Rev is our. We've been trying to wrangle him into reconnecting here with us for a feature show. It's been a while, and he came to us courtesy of his passion and commitment in bringing about seeking justice in behalf and support of the survivors and all the victims of the USS Liberty incident going back to 1967. The U.S. has been under, as far as I'm circumcised, the U.S. has been under Israel's thumb, really, and answering to Israel. How can you really doubt these things since the Kennedy assassination? Now they were not the only ones involved in his murder, as far as I can gather, but FBI, rogue elements of the FBI, CIA, mafia, the dissident Cuban community. They all got their hands dirty,
Brother,
as it were.
brothers will keep other brothers clean, especially when they're, like Vinny said earlier, when they know they've been corrupted, they will clean them by saying, "You're not doing this."
Your brother from Alabama. Your brother from Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
Good man.
I love you too, Jaffe. You know,
It's good you got friends like that.
I don't think that people understand that you can meet people sometimes in a cluster of electrons.
Yeah.
And understand they're real. Just like Vinny. No different than Vinny from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Remember him?
He's always, he was here last week.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
And Vinny down in New Zealand is no different. We all speak the same language, except we don't have the same purpose in life. And that is what saddens me. I can't explain my life to them, and they can't explain their lives to me. And that's all I have to say. And thank you for bringing me on tonight. My little girl's snoring.
Ah.
She wants to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to crawl into the Betty by with her, and I'll listen to the end. All right. God bless. Be well, be safe.
Yeah, you take care.
Out.
All right, Kaiser. So be sure to sell us.
Kaiser.
Sell us. Send us your social media if of your choice. I'm not sure if we have your contact information. We have a list of key mateys. I think we might have something, maybe like a Minds URL or something like that. But Vinny, we've got yours, and Sonia's, of course. So anything Sonia Galactic or galacticfire.com.
Yes.
That's the main URL. And of course we did, I believe let's do it one more time here, just for the fun of it. People, it warrants revisitation and looking over. Look at the swag. I mean, Vinny, she could maybe put something pretty decent together for you as well, assuming you don't have anything in place already. But now here's our links to all of our t-shirt designs and coffee mugs. So reasonable prices too, $20 some odd. There's the shirts, coffee mugs. Just come down,
25.
click on the links. We got this in the show description end of things. You already added it. I'll do it one more time here. I dig this as well too, the Galactic Fire UFO. So, and there's all the miscellaneous related social media URLs, and you can join up and part of the email contact list right here. Is that right, Sonia?
Yes.
Let the seeds of liberation fall where they may.
At the bottom of the screen too, on every page,
that's
there's
a great motto. Let the seeds of liberation fall where they may. That's
right.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So, is that your own little slogan or motto?
Yep.
Huh,
it is.
Stuff.
I get all this stuff from ethers.
You get it all from where?
The ethers.
Ah, well, I guess we all do. That's right. Yeah. Did you get that guy from the ether too? Is that little? Is that little Frankie?
Where? I don't know.
I thought didn't you name your one of your sons? Didn't he take his father's name, Frankie Jr.?
Frankie, not Junior, just Frankie.
He's Frankie Jr.
His dad actually.
He's Frankie Jr. Your dad was Frankie Jr.?
His dad was a junior, so that would make him a third, but we didn't put none of that.
That's just Frankie
on his name.
Frankie Jr. Frankie, yeah, exactly.
Just
the third.
Frankie Elliott Morris.
The third sounds cool, actually, though. It gives him a little more prestige. But
kind of sound cool.
I would do it if that was me. But, and Vinny, yeah, we've got. Let's hear it straight from the Kiwi's beak. Your social media URL of choice? We do have it here on hand with the key mateys.
Wet your
I'll just do my show intro. It's theVinnyEastwoodShow.com, because Vinny with a Y, because it's the most important question. And Eastwood, like, go ahead, make my news. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and hermaphrodites. The Vinny Eastwood Show is bad news. It's like the news, but so much worse. It's the lighter side of genocide. Just because we're getting exterminated doesn't mean we can't enjoy it. Otherwise, what's the point of being killed, man? Hey, the Vinny Eastwood Show, where the only thing worse than living in a high-tech global police state run by child trafficking Satanists is Vinny's jokes. And they're really bad, man.
Sometimes they're pretty goofy, pretty corny, but other times, yeah, it's you hit it out of the park. I dig it, man. Go ahead, Kaiser.
Wet your beak, brother. I watch the black crows get out there in the creek behind my house. They all wet their beak.
Did you hit him up for an autograph or two? You know, they opened for the Stones back in the day. I would have hit them.
I don't have to. I don't have to because, anyways, those little black crows, they float.
They float?
I know what you said. Come on now. I'm joking too. I'm the straight man. You're the funny guy.
Yeah. Want to be? Yeah.
Just let it flow. Yeah.
How many Jaffe trying to be funny? How many comedians out of work and you're trying to be funny? It just doesn't fly. So no, I'm not saying that to you. I'm being self-deprecating. I'm trying to be self-deprecating. What's that?
Yeah. Oh, you're failing at that because you are a funny motherfucker.
You gotta be, you're right though. You flow it in the moment, and what Vinny just delivered there was great. We're gonna cue up the outro. Couldn't think of a better way to put this one to bed with. On that note, we really covered a lot of ground and great material. Hopefully everyone found, a thing or two, item or two of interest. Help, boost their level of knowledge, maybe a little entertainment value, nuggets of wisdom, or what have you. Now, are we going to be back this Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 on the East Coast? That's 12 noon here via the Tokyo Seoul end of things this week with the feature guest interview. I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and see. Playing it by ear as always. Remember to hit us up through email, pirate1radio@protonmail.com, website WPRPN.com. On behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here down in Skullport Harbor, until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Remember, ear to the ground, eyes to the sky. Tally-ho!